So we got all the rings gapped, thanks to my buddy Joey. We measured all the bearings, everything like that. He helped with all that because he's done this before, I never had. So everything is in spec, I guess you would call it, as far as clearances and ring gap. So big thank you to him for coming up and helping me get everything measured and getting all the rings filed and stuff, because he had all the tools as well. So pretty cool, I got to learn something. But tonight, I am going to do the short block assembly of this. I got all the bearings set in, so first thing we're going to do, obviously pull the back off and lube up our bearings in the crank, or for the crank in the motor. Then we'll set our crankshaft in, and then put our main caps on, get all those torqued down, and then we'll spin it over and start putting the pistons in, and yeah, go from there.
Alright, so we go ahead and get some assembly lube on the bearings, drop the crank down in, then start putting our main caps on. I've always used Lucas Oil assembly lube on all my engine builds, but I'm curious what assembly lube is your guys' go-to, so leave a comment down below with what you use. But after we got our main caps on, went ahead and added the ARP assembly grease to the nuts and got them tightened down, and then went through and torqued them to spec, and we are ready to start putting pistons in this thing.
Alright, so I got 7 of the pistons in. I'm going to do this last one. My phone was charging, so I couldn't film that, but it's a pretty simple process. I got my piston ring compressor oiled up, smack them in. So I'm gonna grab this last piston, we're gonna throw this thing together, and then my buddy is coming over tomorrow. He has a torque wrench that does degree, so he's gonna bring that over for me. Quick torque the rod bolts, and then 72 degrees is what they want them to. So do that, and then we can put the oil pan and stuff on, and keep on moving forward. So when you're doing your rings, you want to 180 them. So do that. There, perfect. Grab my oil.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and get some oil on these rings, start tapping this down in. Once we get down in the cylinder bore, make sure we have plenty of assembly lube on these rod bearings because we do not want them going dry. Flip it over, snug up the cap, and we'll be ready to torque it.
Once we get those torqued up, we can throw the pickup tube on. Oh, I can put the oil pump on now, actually. I guess I could do that today yet. We'll see, I might do that later. But for now, I'm gonna leave this right the way it is till he gets here. That way it's all like, it's already flipped over, everything's snug, and nothing's torqued yet. So tomorrow we'll go through, torque every rod bolt, and then this will be done. So hoping next week's Christmas, but potentially next weekend, I would like to try and put the motor back in the truck. Alright, so it's been a minute since I last filmed about putting the rods in, or pistons and rods in, and what ended up happening is the oil expander ring was 5 thousandths too large. So it was real hard to turn over, it didn't make sense. So took it all back apart, went through the rings again, checked all of them, everything was checking out right. Ended up figuring out that the rings that were sent in the box that I ordered were actually 5 thousandths too big. But since we file fit the top, the second ring, and then your oil rings, since we filed all those to fit, it all worked, but the expander itself was 5 thousandths too large. So ended up taking the old expanders and cleaning them off, putting them back together in this, and now it turns over nice and easy. I did end up putting the camshaft in, the oil pump's on, so we're getting ready to put the heads on, and I figured I better start filming. I kind of got in the zone and just started putting it together then and forgot about filming. So I'm a little sick, as you can hear, so we're trying to get these heads on and get this thing wrapped up to be a long block today, and maybe tomorrow or the next day we'll work on trying to get it put in the truck. So I'm going to grab the head gaskets and we'll get started.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and get our head gasket sat down on here, then set our freshly decked cylinder head. We can go through then, start putting our assembly lube on, as you can see, onto the actual stud. Then we'll drop our washers on, and before we put the nut on, we'll add just a dab of assembly lube underneath the head of the nut for the head studs, and then go through, snug them up, and start torquing them. ARP wants you to use a 3-sequence torque, so start at a lower number, I forget what it was, maybe like 35, and then gradually increase until we get to the final torque. And once we finish up the driver's side, we'll repeat the exact same process on the passenger.
Alright, so get ready to put the motor in, got the flex plate on, got the front cover on, got the balancer on. I didn't film that, I'm terrible at this. Just getting a groove, listening to podcasts, and then all of a sudden a bunch of stuff's done, which is good, but not good for filming. So, you gotta put a jack under the transmission, pull out our bolts that I have slid through the mid plate, and see if we can stuff this thing in a reasonable time, because I got family coming over in about an hour. So I think I can definitely get the motor in and bolt it down in under an hour, but we'll see.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this engine lifted up and swung in place here. It looks really busy in the engine bay with how everything's laid out, but it is laid out very well for working on things. It took me less than 10 minutes to get this thing sat down into place and lined up with the mid plate and the front plate mounts, and got it all bolted in relatively quickly, so I am very thankful with how it worked.
Well, motor's in. Obviously now I just have to start bolting stuff up, but I got family coming over. My sister-in-law's pregnant, and they're gonna be telling us the gender tonight, so that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. But alright, so I got the fuel pressure regulator on, get some more stuff tidied up, and I believe I have everything that it's time to actually put the headers on.
So this is probably my least favorite part of the build or rebuild, is putting the headers back on. Not necessarily the headers per se, because they go back in nice and easy, but getting this turbo kit to line up is a bit of a pain. With everything heating and cooling, you have to loosen up the bolts at the actual turbo at the T4 flange, and then tighten the V-bands and go nice and slow and take your time, make sure everything comes back together neatly. Took me probably almost an hour to do just this, but it all went back together. Everything fits good.
Alright, so got the injectors back. I got them all in the intake, and it is time to slap the intake on the truck. I also finished up a bunch of other little things in the meantime. So ended up moving the water pump to down there, ran the wires over. I have to put a new Deutsch connector on there, and then once I have the intake on and get my lines all done, I still got to plumb a little bit of the coolant. So there's still some stuff to do, but I'm gonna try my best to get it all done tonight and put some oil in this thing and fire it up for the first time. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, let's get this intake on.
Alright, so climb up here, set the intake on, because it's the easiest way to do it. And then my time lapse died. So the next clip you'll see, everything's back together.
Alright, so went and got everything back together now. The intake's on. So we're gonna first crank it over, see if we can build oil pressure, and then if we do, then I'll put the fuel pump fuses back in it, and we'll test for fuel leaks. And hopefully all goes well and she fires right off, but I gotta plug my laptop in and then we can try and start it.
Oh yeah. She's flowing.
Look and see if there's any leaks on the water manifold.
Check it for some leaks. I don't see any. Fans work. Oh yeah, we're good. No water leaks.
Alright, so we cranked it over. We did get oil pressure, got up to seen 40 psi of oil pressure cranking it, so that seems pretty good. Got the fuses back in it for the fuel pumps, so we'll click that on if you want to go up there and check under the hood for fuel leaks, and I will check.
What hood? That one.
Well, where it normally would be. Yeah. You ready?
I'm ready.
So, we're gonna have to do some things.
Do some things. Well, it ain't leaking.
Sure ain't. When you send your fuel pressure regulator to get rebuilt,
Yeah.
it don't come back at what you had it set at.
What do you got? Like 130? Turn works.
No, it had 24.
24?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna work.
That's what it had on the last pass, but it blew up too.
Oh, so you just got the last tune in it.
Yeah. It's got like 40 actually.
Maybe it just has to get the air out of the lines because it was making sounds up here. Still looks good. Don't see any leaks yet.
Which one is it?
This one?
44. 40.
Yeah.
Step in the right direction.
I turned that thing a lot though. Oh.
130.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, perfect. I'd run with that.
You would?
57.
Hey, look out for that roll bar somebody put there.
Ah, yeah. I want to add more cage to it.
Then you have a hoop to hit your head off of. That sounds like onomatopoeia. Hoop to hit your head off.
All right,
Final time.
I guess.
In park.
In park. Something happened.
So I don't know what happened. I just totally lost everything. The dash shut off. Everything shut off.
Did it go below voltage?
I don't know. You ready?
I guess. Well, there was some noise.
You ready?
Yep. I don't see any leaks or anything yet.
cartoon. I'm surprised it fucking started. Like,
Yeah.
Alec did a hell of a job dynoing it in July, and it's starting on E in fucking
Yeah.
February when it's cold. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Alright, so it runs. It didn't make any crazy noises. Everything seems good. Seems to have a good bill of health. So obviously that's the break-in oil and stuff that's in it now. So I'm gonna let it cool off for the night. Call it a night, and then tomorrow I'll drain the oil, cut that filter open, and as long as there's nothing crazy, I think we're ready to start driving it. Get some miles on it, and then go testing here in the next couple weeks. But that is probably going to do it for this video, as long as there's nothing crazy in that oil tomorrow. So I'm just going to do the outro now. But thanks guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us TikTok, Broken Budget Racing, Instagram, OneBadass67, Facebook, Broken Budget Racing. Merch is in transit, hopefully, by this point. I got the confirmation, it's paid for, so hopefully within the next couple weeks I can start shipping out to the people that have already messaged me about it. If you'd like to buy merch and help support us this year and travel, we're going to be going to Streetcar Bragging Rights in April. We're going to be going to FL2K in the fall. We're going to be maybe going to some other truck war races this summer. We'll be doing King of the Street at Maple Grove for sure. So we got a decent amount of racing planned this year. So if you'd like to support our travel costs and things like that, be sure to hit me up on any of the social media. And hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you want, we got. So thank you so much guys for watching. We'll see you next time.